Hey everyone, Denise Middleton here. Happy Friday to you. Welcome to Volunteer Vibes. You know what? It is Easter weekend, so I'm sure a lot of you guys have plans and are going to be pretty busy. But if you have time and are looking for some volunteer opportunities, we've got you covered, especially if you want to do some fun things with the family as well. So we have a special guest with us this morning. I want to go ahead and bring in Andrew Davids. He is with the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Denise, and happy early Easter.
Yes, same to you. So you guys have such a huge event going on later this month, but you're looking for volunteers to sign up now. We're talking about the Bike MS Texas MS 150. And this is a huge event. It's been going on since the 80s. So for those who still may not be familiar with it, tell us a little bit about it and how much it's grown over the years.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those who don't know, historically, thousands of riders and volunteers have come together each and every spring to help make the Texas MS 150 possible. Historically, it's been a weekend-long bike ride in which our riders have started in Houston, and over the course of the weekend, they biked all the way out to Austin. This year, we're actually mixing it up and doing a brand new route. For the first time, we're going to have joint starts, one in Houston, one in Austin. We're going to have them meet in the middle in LaGrange, Texas, and then on day two, we're going to have them depart from there and actually finish at Kyle Field on the campus of A&M in College Station, Texas. And so we're super excited to put a new spin on this event that's been such a landmark in the communities of Houston and Austin. And we're excited to rope College Station into that fold as well, and hopefully start the next great Aggie tradition up there at A&M. And so, as I mentioned, thousands of people come together to help make this event a possibility, and we'd love the support of anybody who might be available. This year's ride is on April 30th and May 1st. And no matter where you are in Houston, Austin, College Station, anywhere in between, we got roles that we can plug you into, and we'd absolutely love your support.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, it has just grown and so much over the years. So talk about what it takes to make this a success and what you need from volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely. And so in a normal year, we have about 10,000 riders that hit the route that weekend. This year, due to some things slowing down with COVID the past few years, we're looking to be a little bit less than that, but we need some individuals to help us grow it back to that 10,000 rider mark. And so as MS Society staff, we start planning this thing all the way back in September of 2021 in order to pull it off here in a few weekends. And so we need volunteers to come and make sure that all of our riders have a fun, enjoyable, safe time on the route. There's a variety of different roles that we can plug you into. We have our start line in Austin. We actually have 3 different start lines here in the Houston area where you can help our riders get started for the day, serve them breakfast, cheer them on as they go across that start line. We need help at what we call rest stops. And so these are places along the route where our riders pull off, they take a break, get some refreshments. If they need any medical attention, need to make any repairs, they can. And so we need anywhere from 10 to 35 volunteers at each rest stop to help make that possible. And then obviously our finish lines, we need a fun, festive atmosphere, people congratulating our riders after each day they bike anywhere from about 50 to 75 miles. So they're pretty exhausted. So we want to keep them off their feet as much as possible, help them out with things such as their luggage, their bikes, serving them food, and making sure they can really celebrate the huge feat they accomplished that day. And there's multiple other roles kind of in between, where if you have some unique skills, you're first aid CPR certified, you like driving a SAG van to help kind of pick up riders who maybe can't make it to the next stop, like you just saw a picture. If you have any unique skills, ham radio operator, we can plug you into those teams as well. And so we'd love to have you join us across the board.
Yeah, lots of opportunities there. So talk about the registration process and what people need to know before they sign up.
Sure thing. So we utilize a platform called Galaxy Digital's Get Connected platform. And so if you're interested in a specific area, I could send you a link directly to, if you want to help at the food and beverage shift at our Katy start line, I can send you a specific link to that. If you want to keep it more general, just browse through, see what works best for you. We can just send you to one of our home pages and have you do that. And so you'll just log in, and the first time you'll see a button saying respond. You'll just click that button, and if you're a new volunteer, the platform will be like, hey, I don't know who you are, create a profile. So you just have to go through that process, just some basic information, then click that respond button one more time on the shift that you're interested in. And then that gets you plugged into that shift where we just need basic things like t-shirt size, emergency contact information. So that way we can make sure you're repping the MS Society and you stay safe out there when you're volunteering with us as well. Some of those skilled positions I mentioned have a few more steps. And so if you're interested in those, I can talk through those with you directly. And then if you're under the age of 16, there's some different parent consent portions that we might need to handle with you as well. But generally speaking, that's the process that most of our volunteers can expect to find.
Okay, and so for each age group, I guess, what are you looking for those who may be under 16 and want to help out? What can they do?
Yeah, absolutely. And so most different opportunities can be handled, especially the general ones at like our start lines and our rest stops, by ages of anyone 8 and up. But other than that, some of the tasks might be a little bit harder, so we'll need to handle that on a case-by-case basis. But for those under the age of 16, we just have a volunteer consent form. So we would ask that the parent or guardian just sign that, and the volunteer bring it and turn it in at the start of their shift. And there is a chaperone to minor ratio from the ages of 12 to 16. We ask that looks about 1 chaperone to every 10 minors. From the ages 8 to 12, that drops to about 1 chaperone for every 3 minors. And so those are the only 2 extra steps. And then we'd love to get the helping hands and excited attitudes out to make it a fun experience for our riders.
Yeah, and talk about what this means. There's a lot of funding that needs to be raised. So tell us more about that and why this is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And so this event, our fundraising goal for this year is actually $7.5 million. And all of that, some of it will go back to covering the cost of the event itself, but a large majority will go back to providing services for those living with multiple sclerosis, as well as funding research for multiple sclerosis. And so it is actually the biggest event that the National MS Society puts on in the country. And it's one of the 10 largest fundraising bike rides of any cause in the nation as well. And so we're really proud about that. And we've seen great strides as an MS Society. We've been around for about 75 years, and we've seen more progress the last 5 years than we did in the first 70. And fundraising events like this are what really help keep that momentum going in our goal of eventually living in a world free of MS. And so ultimately, that's what all of our riders and all of our volunteers gather to do every spring, to celebrate the ground that we've made the past year and try to make up even more ground the next year.
Mm-hmm. And talk about what it's like for someone living with multiple sclerosis and what this means to them, events like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those who aren't aware, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease where essentially your body attacks itself and it disrupts messages between the brain and other parts of the body. And so it can manifest in different ways for different people. Some lose functions of like some parts of their limbs. Others have different sensations, such as maybe the prickling sensation or maybe a numbing. And so it can be a really debilitating to some individuals and can affect quality of life significantly. And so a lot of our volunteers and even some of our riders are actually living with MS themselves. And so this event is just a great kind of community where they can come and connect with other people. Many of our other volunteers and riders, if they don't have MS, they have a parent, they have a sibling, they have a child who does. And so it is just, we've had some be overwhelmed with emotion when they come out that weekend and see everybody who's out there committed towards helping their loved ones and helping them to eventually tell those loved ones that, hey, we found a cure for MS. And each year we get closer and closer to being able to say that. And so, and that's what everybody who comes in and volunteers with us, that's what they'd be stepping in, and that's what they'd be helping make happen.
Yeah, and I know, the actual event is, April 30th and May 1st, but what about the opportunities leading up to that? Or I'm not sure if you touched on some of those, but there's, certainly ways for people to get involved if they can't make it on those particular dates, on the days leading up to it, right?
Yes, absolutely. So we have our packet pickup events. And so you may be familiar with marathon expos, things like that. It's where our riders come, they get their bib numbers, any stickers, passes they might need, they get their event t-shirts, different things like that. And so we have, as I mentioned, thousands of riders. And so if it was just me out there doing all that, my hairline would recede by 5 inches and I'd be running all over the place. And so we need volunteers stepping alongside of us to help facilitate that process as well. They start in late March and they go throughout the month of April. We actually just yesterday had our second to last one in the Houston area. Today we have our second to last one in the Austin, but we have 2 more in both of those areas, and that will be on April 29th. And so we call them our opening ceremonies. So it'll be the Friday before the event. So we still need the help of over 30 volunteers at both our Houston and Austin locations to help facilitate that packet pickup process. So if you're already booked up that weekend, don't worry. If you have some availability those Friday afternoons or even kind of late mornings, we'd love to have you help out with those processes.
And how soon do you need them to sign up? Because, what if they may be thinking about it and say, hey, I'll sign up later? Like, when's the best time for them to go ahead and get this done, the registration process?
Yeah, so I would say as soon as possible. We're really getting into the weeds of our planning process. And so actually, as of tomorrow, we're going to start for our most critical needs, having to come up with some contingency hiring plans. And obviously, we want to avoid that if at all possible. The more people and kind of contractors we have to hire to come fill these needs, the less money can go back to services and to research for those living with multiple sclerosis. So tomorrow, we're going to start putting those plans in place. So if any of you are willing to help out with some of our bike compounds, with some of our rest stops, by all means, feel free to reach out, and we'd love to get you plugged in between now and then. Even after tomorrow, we can still take you. We'd love to have more volunteers, even if we have to hire in a few areas. We'd love to up the customer service in some of the other areas so people have a really good experience and they're even more excited to come back and raise even more money for next year. So by no means is tomorrow a deadline, but we'd love to get as many people in beforehand if we can.
For sure. And what's been the response from, volunteers in the past from previous events? What do you hear them say about the whole event?
Yeah, I'd say one of the biggest things that some individuals are aware what MS is, some aren't. They come out for service hours or because it just sounds like a fun time. And as I mentioned, many of the other volunteers there serving alongside and many of the riders they see come through are touched by MS in some way. So they're just really impacted on hearing those stories, making those personal connections, putting kind of a face with the mission and with the cause. And that gets them even more amped up to participate in some of our other events that we have year round. Like I know you mentioned our Walk MS event. We have some other ones in each community as well. And then gets them even more excited to not only volunteer with this event the next year, but maybe bringing out some family members, bringing out friends, taking over a whole rest stop with a group of their coworkers, getting their company involved with sponsorship. There's multiple ways they can continue to expand their impact. And it really is just getting out there, seeing it, touching it, meeting people, shaking hands. It just really makes it all kind of hit home for them. And it did so for me the first time I got to experience our events as well.
Yeah, it sounds like so much fun. And I'm sure you all are looking to get even more volunteers, each and every year. So we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. Is there anything else that volunteers need to know before we go?
Yeah, I'd say the only other thing for volunteers is, as I mentioned, we got a free MS Society t-shirt, so you can get some swag if you come out and volunteer with us. We have free food on site, so you can fill your bellies as well, wherever you're welcome to partake in breakfast, lunches, dinners, whatever's being served at where you're volunteering. So a free food, free t-shirt, that's always some nice perks to me. And then we'll provide anything else you might need to serve that day. All we need is some helping hands, a smiling face, and a good attitude, and we can plug you right in. And so we're really excited to partner with any of you that might be interested in joining us in our mission for a world free of MS.
Hey, free swag, free food. How can they turn that down? Mm-hmm. Andrew, thank you so much. I hope you guys get all the volunteers you need. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Denise. I really appreciate this opportunity. It was good talking with you.
Absolutely. And of course, you guys know you can always go to volunteerhou.org to take a look at all the volunteer opportunities, including this one. So you can sign up there. And so this morning, we also have Miss Gayla Wilson with Volunteer Houston. Hey there, how are you?
I'm good. And you know what? You'll be very surprised, but I've actually ridden in the MS 150. And I will tell you, it is one of the most meaningful challenges physically because of the training that I have done. And there is nothing like riding it and riding along someone who has MS, or you're on the ride and someone's holding up a sign that says, "Thank you for riding for me." So I'm telling you, if anybody can volunteer, it is one of the coolest events to volunteer for. You see kids, and it is just a cool event to volunteer at. So,
and how long did it take you to train for that?
I trained for about 3 months.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I was part of a cycling club at the time. And so we would literally do rides on the weekend. During the week, we do classes because you literally train up for the entire event. So, yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's challenging physically, but it is one of the most fulfilling things I can honestly say that I've done.
I bet. I love it. And I love that it's, family friendly too. You can bring your kids
It is.
and they can join
It
in
is.
as well. So I
It
love
is,
that.
and you know that when you're on the route, that people are out there. There are people, just random, families along the routes, holding up signs and saying, keep going, you can do it. Thank you for riding. But it is very fulfilling, and it's very inspirational when you are riding along with someone who personally is impacted by it, who has MS.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I know that support from the volunteers, especially, it
Mhm.
means so much. So
It
yeah,
does.
just another reason you guys to
Yes.
try and put some time aside, and help
Yes.
out and make an
Yes.
impact if you can.
Yes.
All right, Gayla.
All
So
right.
what else do we have going on this
So
weekend?
it's finally here. Next week is the Houston Together event that is hosted by Volunteer Houston. It's our annual event to showcase volunteerism and nonprofits in the greater Houston area. So next Saturday, April 23rd, we are looking for volunteers. We've got 2 different shifts available. And this event, we're looking for volunteers to do everything with helping us to set up for the welcome and reception, the welcome and registration area, during the parking, helping in the parking area with the food trucks, in the nonprofit showcase area. If you're wanting to volunteer and you want to learn a little bit more about 41 other nonprofits that will be there representing the greater Houston area, please come out. The shifts are from 7:30 to 10. And we're looking for about 25 volunteers. And then we have shifts from 9:30 to noon, 12:30, and then 12 to 3, and then 3 to 5. And then the afternoon shift at 3 is going to be more of the event breakdown. And then the morning shift at 7:30 is going to be actually helping to set up. And we are providing breakfast if you come for the 7:30 shift. So that's next Saturday, and we are excited. We've got 41 great nonprofits that'll be out there. There's a kids zone, so you can come and hang out, help build desks for students in Title I schools once you're done with your volunteer shift, or before your shift if you come for the afternoon. So we've got that going on. And then the next event that needs volunteers is the Third Ward on Tap neighborhood canvassing. Change Happens is a wonderful organization that supports families in the Third Ward area, and they need volunteers for their community canvassing. It starts this coming Saturday, which is the 16th. They're looking for 20 volunteers to help for the next couple of Saturdays, and they need individuals who can go out there and help canvass the neighborhood. And so what they're looking to do is to engage the Third Ward community to reimagine the Columbia Tap Trail and help reunite the Third Ward community. So they've got a block party planned in May, but they want to get the word out and start getting people to help volunteer and get people engaged in this event. So they're looking for community volunteers to come out. They'll have water and snacks. Be prepared for the warm weather. So make sure that you dress comfortably. And this one is for anyone over the age of 18. We have another opportunity with a great organization called Planet Forward. They're looking for farm share monitors. And so this is kind of an ongoing opportunity. So if you've got time, this coming Saturday, starting at 2 o'clock to 4, or even during the week, starting on Monday in the afternoon, they need farm share monitors. And what does a farm share monitor do? You help to provide assistance for customers who have questions about produce that they're picking up. You let people know about upcoming events that are going to be going on. You may help to share recipes and provide instructions on how to prepare various foods. There is a required volunteer orientation that you do have to attend, and this is a great opportunity for groups or individuals 16 and older, and it's family friendly. And our last volunteer opportunity is for an organization called the Alliance. They help to resettle refugees in the greater Houston area, and they need volunteers to help out with their Ramadan dinner delivery. And so what they're going to be doing is they need individuals who can help deliver hot Ramadan meals to some of the Afghan families on Friday and Saturday evenings in April. So the dates are starting tomorrow, the 15th, from 6 to 8, Saturday the 16th the following Friday and Saturday, the 22nd and 23rd, and then the last weekend of the month, which is April 29th and the 30th. You'll show up at their offices on Hillcroft, and then you'll get your driving assignment, and you'll get the food to deliver. You deliver it to a family, and then you are done.
Awesome. And so do they need to at least be 16, I assume, or do they want them to be 18?
Well, they have to have a driver's license and proof of insurance. So if that's 16, yes. If they're under 16, they can certainly ride in the car as they can see their family delivering these meals. So they do have to have proof of insurance and a driver's license in order to drive to deliver the meals.
Right. And this has been going on since the beginning of the month. So how many volunteers are they looking for?
They are looking for about 15 volunteers for each day. So yeah, they definitely. Okay. So yeah, I mean, you're probably delivering to a pretty large geographic area in the Southwest Houston area and other areas. So they definitely need at least 15 people or 15 drivers for each of those days, starting tomorrow.
All right. So it sounds like there are plenty of volunteer opportunities to choose from. And Gayla, just talk about how easy it is to become a volunteer, at your website where we have the portal there with everything listed, but just touch on that for us.
It is easy peasy. You simply go to our website, volunteerhou.org. You create a profile, you answer a few questions. And once you've done that, you can literally browse the entire website. You can filter by date. You can filter by interest. So if your interest is animals or environmental or basic needs or women, you can filter by any number of opportunities. And once you've registered and created your profile, you indicate your interest, you can filter from there. And then literally you can just go in there and find any opportunity that suits your needs. And you can even, if you're looking to do something with a group, whether it's your family or friends, you can even filter for opportunities that are accepting teens.
All right, Gayla, thank you so much. And we have Andrew here with us as well. We appreciate you for coming on this morning and filling us in on everything that you need to put on your event this year. We hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and happy Easter to you. I hope you guys can join us next Friday at 11 a.m. so we can fill you on everything that's going on in H-Town, fill you in rather. So we'll see you next week. Have a great weekend.
Bye, y'all.